Moving on to our matchday match point number 3, and we're going to talk about the Sunrisers opening pair, which were instrumental in them actually winning the 2016 edition. It's about David Warner, it's about Shikhar Dhawan, and whether they will continue to run the show in this edition of the tournament as well. Now we're going to dig up the numbers first and present the case for you, and then go again to Brad Hogg and Gaurav Kalra, because these two pretty much batted most of the time when Hyderabad were in action in their winning campaign. 52% of the runs is what they contributed. David Warner was phenomenal, an average of 80 and a strike rate of over 150. Shikhar Dhawan, average pretty high, played, saw a couple of chases through unbeaten. The strike rate might be a bit of a worry. He's also not the same Shikhar Dhawan as far as international cricket goes. So it's time to go to Brad Hogg once more. Well, David Warner with those numbers, coming at the back of a not so great test series, still the man to lead the charge along with Shikhar Dhawan. Your 45 seconds, sir. Start now.
Well, Test cricket is different to T20 cricket, and David Warner is really strong in the white ball format. Now, if you look at those numbers, David Warner averaging 80, Dhawan averaging 42, that's 122 runs per innings that the openers are averaging. So average score is 180, so it only leaves another 60 runs for the rest of the batting lineup to make those runs. But if those two struggle, Sunrisers are going to be in a bit of trouble. They're going to rely on Yuvraj, who's in a bit of form. Enriquez is in a bit of form as well. So those two are really going to have to step up. And the lower order that don't have much batting time are going to have to start to feel the pressure and get runs on the board.
No matter which edition it is, Yuvraj always becomes talking point beforehand. Would you rely a little more on Yuvraj this year than previous years? Less money and probably more performance?
Definitely, I think he's got points to prove, and he wants to do well. And he's not playing Test cricket for India, so he wants to go back and make sure he cements that place for India. So the IPL is a good platform for him.
We've always, you were the first person to bring up the David Dhawan reference last year. I know that for a fact. But I'm going to ask you now, looking at the current Hyderabad middle order, whether Warner and Dhawan now are bigger assets than they were last season. 45 seconds for you. Start now.
Well, I definitely think if you look at the Hyderabad team and split it down the middle, batting and bowling, clearly their bowling is their stronger suit at the moment, especially if Warner's form doesn't recover from the Test series. I know it's different formats, but he's had a bit of a knock. So whether that goes on and plays in your mind, you don't know. Dhawan also looking to make a comeback to the Indian team, so he will be eager to prove a point. But I think Yuvraj is going to be key this year because he's shown good form in the one-day series and in white ball cricket, and he showed Yuvraj kind of hitting form. So he's got to bat in that top 3 or 4 and get a lot of runs for Hyderabad, because not every year are you going to get this kind of service that you got from Warner and Dhawan last year.
You guys are nailing the time, aren't you? Oh, okay, so there you have it. Warner and Shikhar Dhawan, in spite of the Yuvraj Singh looking better and maybe a reshuffled middle order, would still be heavily relied on as far as the Sunrisers Hyderabad are concerned.